We are back with Big First Night Modern at Magic Corner Vienna. With me is my colleague Walter.
And joining me is Michi.
Well, with the first match of tonight, we got Martin Ferner on the right side playing Eldrazi Tron, and
on the left we have Gabriel Pable on Mono Black Devotion.
Ooh, nice matchup. Have you ever seen this in game before, or is this first time watching it?
I've seen the Mono Black Devotion deck be played before, most notably by a friend of mine to a trial win at a side event or a grinder, a so-called grinder at GP Brisbane 2013. He played it back with when Deathware Chain was legal and he went 5-0 there. That was the last time I've actually seen this deck played pretty much. What we've got here, Gabriel, with his Mono Black Devotion list, he plays 4 copies of Grey Merge and there's a big top end, and he also features other heavy black spells like Phyrexian Obliterator, Bloodgast, Gifted Aetherborn, both Lilianas, and has a nice mix of discard and removal spells to round it up. He also has a small red splash for some sideboard cards like Bifrost and Crumble to Dust. How about that Eldrazi Tron list there?
Well, I think it's a pretty basic and good list. In the main we have 4 Floodknot Seer, 4 Reality Smasher, 4 Matter Reshaper, 2 Endbringer, 4 Walking Ballista, and of course the loved Chalice of the Void 4 times, 2 Dismember to handle some creatures on the board, 4 Expedition Maps to get the lands you need, 2 Relic of Progenitors to fight off Graveyard, Mindstones, Karn, Alles Dust, and of course the lands. So the
and it seems like both our players kept 7 cards, and we have Gabriel on the play here, leading with Ifnir Deadlands, the desert from Hour of Devastation, which is one of in his list, Into Inquisition of Kozilek, and here we see Martin's hand revealed.
Ooh, nice. I think
it seems as the choice was
Floodknot Seer, Khan Liberated, and a second Eldrazi Temple, or no, Secret Wreckage, or?
Definitely the Secret Wreckage, and the Relic of Progenitors got discarded, was actually the only legal target here. But we see Martin already set up for turn 3 and 4 Thought-Knot Seers. Obviously would be a turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer if he would hit another Eldrazi Temple off the top here. What do you think of this hand here, Michi?
I think this hand is pretty good, but he needs to draw he needs to just bring out his Thought-Knot Seer and handle the board situation, which will be evolved by his opponent.
But we see no turn 2 play here, while on his turn 2, Gabriel had deployed a Gifted Aetherborn, and now he's swinging in with a 2-2 lifelinker with a 2-3 lifelinking Death Touch creature. And on his third turn, he's adding a Bloodgast to the board. No 3-drop here for him.
So he's building up the pressure. Maybe with Fatal Push backup. Does he play Fatal Push?
Yeah, his list features 4 copies of Fatal Push and 6 fetch lands to enable it, one of them being the Bloodstained Mire already on the board here.
So we see a fetch, and I think I saw the Fatal Push in his hand, and
this will probably be a response to the Thought-Knot Seer trigger, meaning that the trigger allowing him to draw a card would resolve first, so he would draw a card first, and then his hand, including the freshly drawn card, would get revealed, and Thought-Knot Seer would exile one of those cards. It seems like Martin is explaining this right now.
Yeah, perfectly looks like that, and next turn, Gabriel has 4 power on the board and will bring down Martin's life total to 14, I would say, and his own backup to 19.
And he has got both Phyrexian Obliterator and Grey Merchant of Asphodel in hand here, with Martin having to read them both. It seems like definitely the Obliterator is the more scary threat, especially because it could be deployed as early as next turn. But here on this board, this Grey Merchant of Asphodel already threatens a drain for 6 if it comes down 2 turns down the road, which would already put Martin down to 8.
Yeah, well, but Martin can handle this quite easily with his second Thought-Knot Seer in hand, which will be deployed now, or it should be deployed now, because this would be a devastating hit for Martin. So
yeah, and we see the second Thought-Knot Seer being deployed here, and we saw that just the Swamp had been drawn here for Gabriel, meaning he is left with no threats in hand, and still, at this point, he can still keep attacking, because it's basically free. The Aetherborn would just trade for the Thought-Knot Seer, and the Bloodgast is going to come back anyways, but still is only pushing 2 damage here if the Bloodgast gets blocked, and that's like, and with Martin being still at 14, he really needs to draw some additional gas here, right?
Yeah, he can activate the Ifnir Deadlands to kill the Thought-Knot Seer if it blocks.
That's true. He just needs 1 more land in play here.
He has 4. He has enough lands. 1 in hand. He just needs to play
if he plays the 5th land, he can do that.
the plan is ready. So we will see what he will draw. Yeah, he has the swamp in hand, of course.
But Martin's not forced to block here, is he?
No, he can go down to 10.
But he's keeping the Gifted Ether Bomb back. What do you think of that decision here? Seems a bit conservative. Well, with him being an 18 life.
Yes, but... Oh, okay.
Okay, that's why he's keeping it back. Question answered. It is completely reasonable to leave back the Gifted Ether Bomb in order to protect that freshly drawn Liliana of the Hope, which is a one-off in his main deck.
Yes.
In a split with 3 copies of Liliana of the Base.
So hopefully no Eldrazi Temple from Martin's side, or else Karn Liberator gets deployed. Currently...
no, Karn is not an Eldrazi.
Oh,
Karn is not an Eldrazi.
I'm sorry, I made a mistake.
It's not... Eldrazi Temple does not tap for 2 to cast Karn, so at this point he has access to 5 mana, 6 for Eldrazi.
Yes.
And now we've got another read. Gabriel has to read the Matter Reshaper is actually pretty good against decks like his, which is a very grindy mid-range deck with lots of spot removers that don't exile a creature, meaning they're very effective. The Matter Reshaper's ability is very effective against them.
Okay, so what is the draw for the turn from Gabriel's side? With Mono Black Devotion, Liliana in play, and he's going to attack with Black East. Yeah.
With Blackcast, yeah. And the annoying thing here for Gabriel is that both his awesome creature threats got exiled, and we see a Walking Ballista here.
Yeah.
Martin rightly choosing not to put it onto the battlefield with 0 counters, but rather putting his hand, which is another option he has. We see Blackcast coming back post-combat, but what I was saying before, the Liliana not being particularly effective here because the creatures are exiled. Imagine he had that Obliterator in his graveyard, he could just get it back with the Liliana and play it.
But he could still gamble with Liliana and mill it and try to find a creature to get back.
Yeah, he has 18 creatures in his deck. 12 of them are really good hits. The other with the 4 Sheriff's Messengers, the 4 Obliterators, and the 4 copies of Gary, the Grey Merchant.
Crucial. All his stuff is being played, which means all
his
permanent is dust.
Which means we will see a Bloodgust come back at some point, but now Gabriel is down to 14 and he really needs to draw one of his high impact cards. So like a Phyrexian Obliterator would be pretty nice. Or Liliana of the Veil even, but he's just getting back that copy of Bloodgust from his graveyard.
Which can't block and didn't have haste because his opponent is still over 10 life.
Yeah, he's still at 12 and now and we see another Matter Reshaper here with the Karn and the Walking Ballista in hand. This looks very, very, very
and an expedition.
Dicey for Gabriel here. He would need to draw running perfect, pretty much. Like he would need to draw a way to kill the Thought Nazi and draw another good card off that, and then have 2 more awesome draw slips in a row. Then he might be able to come back. But Karn is like super annoying. Karn just 1-for-1 exiles each of his threats.
Okay, so we have Bitter Blossom.
From nice
Black Devotion. Yes, really nice. Just a black Matter Reshaper triggers. Another expedition map comes into play, and at end of turn, an expedition map gets sacked, and next turn the Karn Liberator is ready.
Yep, and he can go for Tron here, he can go for more funky things, but the most easy way here to win the game quickly and definitely is going for Tron, because due to that Seagate Wreckage in play, once you have a lot of mana, you can just draw extra cards each turn.
Yes.
It's getting pretty trivial there.
Yeah, Seagate Wreckage is like if you've got no cards in hand, you can pay 2 and tap itself to draw a card.
You have to pay 2 and the colorless, tap the Seagate Wreckage and you draw a card, exactly, and you can only activate that ability when you have no cards in hand. And now we see the Karn deployed here, going after the Bitter Blossom before it was even able to deploy create the first fairy token.
No, not even. Vastly behind on board. Mono Black Devotion has to try into something to handle the board state, but we have Karn liberated and Thought Nazi deployed.
And Thought Nazi is blocking the Bloodgust here.
Yes.
This is just... We see what the follow-up is. Collective Brutality, killing the Thought Nazi, and now we see maybe it's something off the top. But this Karn still has an exile left in him. So meaning whatever threat he deploys, Karn just can go -3 and kind of give up. Martin can give up the Karn to get rid of whatever.
Yeah, in the next turn, Tron and Walking Ballista are online, so...
And Walking Ballista with Tron would just spell lethal here with Gabriel being at 6.
Yes.
He would be able to cast it with 12 with 6 counters if he were able to assemble Tron. Which is
maybe top deck Tron, but he already has the expedition map out and Witch's Tower and Witch's Power Plant, I think, in play.
Yeah, he's just missing the mine.
Yeah.
And now here we see him go for it, tapping, wasting
Really?
Ghost Quarter, getting the mine out of his deck.
Kind of a no-brainer to get more mana if you can, so...
Putting him at 10 mana here, so no, the Ballista is not lethal yet because he had to tap the 2 mana. It would have been lethal if he top-decked the mine, but still looking pretty good.
Yeah, quite enough time, no threats from from Gabriel's side. Martin is spilling up his threats and exiling
Khan's eating the last card from his hand, which was a basic swamp.
Yeah, and it looks like Walking Ballista 4 or 5 counters gets deployed. So here he comes with a dice on 5.
Yeah, and now he needs to draw an answer to the Walking Ballista, and then the Khan's still there. Because the Walking Ballista is just threatening to attack for 5 here next turn. The Bloodgust still can't block.
The Walking Ballista is threatening to attack, Bloodgust can't block, and he can bump Walking Ballista by just paying 4 mana.
He can do everything he wants to, and it looks like we'll be going to game 2 very shortly here.
This game is over quickly.
Yeah. Just some hand gestures to show, I will attack you and then I'll throw all 5 counters at you, you're dead. Gabriel agrees, he is dead, nothing he can do about it, but he can go to his sideboard. And in his sideboard, Gabriel here has access to 2 copies of Surgical Extraction, 2 Rakdos Charm, 2 Bifrost, 1 Fulminator Mage, 2 Drowning Sorrows, 2 Crumble to Dust, 2 Illness in the Ranks, 1 Wretched Bomb, and 1 Relic of Progenitors. So here in this matchup against the Eldrazi Tron, he has some land hate, but it's always dubious, depending on your own deck, how good land hate even is against the Eldrazi Tron, because the Eldrazi Tron can just quickly deploy threats and then your land destruction might come too late. I would say that the Fulminator Mage probably on the play out of his deck is still fine. I don't think I would. Crumble to Dust seems a bit dicey on the play, it might still be reasonable. Other than that, I don't see too much. He has Rakdos Charms here, which could get rid of the Chalices. So to free up his 8 1-mana discard spells for Fatal Push, so those are probably worth it. They can also kill other artifacts. How about Martin's sideboard options here, Michi?
Well, he has quite some. 2 Hangerback Walker, 1 Battle Skull, 2 Surgical Extractions, 2 Relic of Progenitors, 1 Basilisk Collar, 2 Whopping Whale, 3 Ratchet Bombs, and 2 Sorcerer's Spyglass, the new card from Ixalan. And
the super pithy needle.
Yes, the super one.
Okay, Texia needle.
And well, I think he might board out Chalice of the Void in this game because it won't early on really hit nothing, and I'm not quite sure if he even wants to hit something with Chalice of the Void. And another card which to some degree it can be useful, at least the cycles for his deck, is Relic of Progenitors, but maybe also not the best card. There are some cards which he can board in, like Hangerback Walker, of course, Better Skull for more life gain if his opponent threatens his life total, maybe a Basilisk Collar. Would you board in anything more, Walker?
No, what I just wanted to say is, with the Chalice, the thing is, we have 12 1-mana spells, but the problem is the 8 discard spells, they're pretty good against the Eldrazi Tron, but you can never play Chalice before the discard spell. There's no Ancient Tomb or anything in the deck. So if you play it, your opponent on the draw has the opportunity to deploy at least 1 discard spell before that, and if he's on the play, even 2. So that's a bit risky. But I think the Hangerback Walker is the big one here. It's huge, and playing against mono black. Yeah, sure, destroy it. I just get a huge bunch of Thopters. It's nice, and the Thopters will just kill you because you have no way of interacting with them efficiently, except for Liliana of the Last Hope, which is one of them. So I think that's a huge one here. Yeah. Relic of Progenitors hits the Bloodgusts and the Messengers. I'm not sure you really want it. Depends on what you want to side out.
Okay, both players have finished sideboarding and starting shuffling up their deck. So hopefully we can see the beginning of the match soon. Okay, they're cutting each other's deck, and they will start soon. Gabriel with Mono Black Devotion lost the last game and is on the player now. They're both drawing 7 cards, and for the hope of a good game, both should keep their 7 and...
Yeah, Gabriel needs to hope to not get flooded out a bit like in game 1. It was not so much flood, it was also 2 timely Thought Not Seers that took his powerful threats, and after that a few too many lands. But we see no 1-drop here from Gabriel, but an Expedition Mat from Martin.
Which is pretty nice, I have to say. Maybe he can establish Tron really soon. He has a
he
second
already
Tron
got a
in
tower.
hand. He got a tower and he got...
Are we going to see the turn 3 Tron?
I think we are for sure going to see the turn 3 Tron.
What can he play of that? We have the Hangerback Walker in hand. What other options have we got? Hangerback Walker for 3 is already not too shabby.
He bought it in Surgical Extraction. Yes, he bought it in Surgical Extraction.
It's really nice against Jareth's Messengers.
Yes.
If you get him with the Undying trigger on the stack, then it's great. I'm not sure how many removal spells does he even have, but he has some ways to get them into the graveyard even by combat.
By combat, dismember, etc.
Or his dust. Yeah, sure. I mean, it's reasonable. It's really good if you get them. Jareth's Messenger is one of the best cards against you in that.
So second Tron land played, and at the end of Gabriel's turn, we will see an expedition map being cracked.
I think Gabriel has got a copy of Liliana of the Veil in his hand here, which he can deploy.
Yes.
In addition to his Bloodgust, and he can start attacking. Martin's hand here, and also if Martin just deploys a big creature next turn that is not called Reality Smasher, the Liliana will just be able to eat it. So Thought Seers and Endbringers are out as reasonable options next turn if that Liliana gets down here. But Endbringer would just attack Liliana and kill it.
Yes, we're seeing Liliana and enters with
plus
3 counters on it. And goes straight up.
It always ends. No, it just enters with 4 here.
It enters with 4.
No, it enters with 3, but it basically enters with 4 because Gabriel is already committed. He is already committed to using the +1 ability, meaning that effectively, literally, it enters with 4.
So, Urza's Man being fetched out of the deck, and put into Martin's hand, and it will be played next turn.
Gabriel discarded a copy of Phyrexian Obliterator here, which is his best 4-drop. What do you make of that? Does he have another copy, or does he not have his 4th land? Because it seems like it's a very, very powerful card. It's a 5/5 that's basically unblockable, because otherwise your opponent would have to sack a lot of permanents, which is not fun. And we have Khan here, which is a very good answer to the Liliana. It just goes down to 1 next turn if it's attacked by the Bloodgust here.
Which can still be fine, but I think there's another Liliana of the Whale waiting in Gabriel's hand.
And we see a Surgical on the Obliterator here in the air. Good read by Martin, because that's what I meant. Discarding the Obliterator basically telegraphs you have another one in hand, and this is a Surgical where Martin can say, I'm quite confident. I'm like around 70-75% here that you will have another copy of the Obliterator in hand. So here it was just a 0-mana discard spell that also got rid of the 2 other copies of Obliterator, which are very impressive threats out of the deck. And we see we have the copy of Liliana of the Veil and Jareth's Messenger here in the hand for Gabriel.
Yeah. This was quite a big turn for Martin, ripping away 1 card from his opponent's hand and killing off Liliana on the board. But now we see Karn Liberated going down to 1. And I think maybe Jareth's Messenger and Liliana will be deployed soon.
I would go for the Messenger here because you really want to threaten that Karn, because it has a +4 ability, which eats one of those cards from your hands. It's already back to 5, so you need to actually threaten to kill it. And what was the other card was drawn for the turn here?
I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's in Bostel or something like this.
A Grey Merchant. Yeah,
Grey Merchant, I'm sorry.
It's called Grey Merchant of Asphodel. That's its name, yeah.
Yes.
And it is.
Hey, I'm always keen on learning new misplays. Oh no, I thought not. See, you're taking away the Liliana.
And now this is looking really bad. Khan is protected. He basically needs to rip away to kill the Thought-Knot. But the problem with his deck is, with the mono blacklist, he's only playing 4 Fatal Push. He's not playing any other removal spells except for the Liliana. So it does not have any ways that can just kill Thought-Knot here from the top here, even, except for his remaining 1 copy of Liliana of the Veil.
So, I would say currently Martin with Eldrazi Tron is quite ahead. He has 5 cards in hand.
Yeah, still this Hangerback Walker.
Hangerback Walker, Tron assembled, and what do we see here? Endbringer. Ooh, pretty nice card.
Endbringer is really sweet here. It's a 6-mana 5/5 that you get to untap in each of your opponent's untap steps, and you also get to tap it to ping. You get to tap it with 1 colorless mana to make a creature not attack or block 1 turn, and for 2 colorless mana you get to draw a card. So this is it's weak against removal spells when it comes down, but other than that it's like a Swiss Army knife with lots of different effective abilities that can affect board states in various ways.
Does Gabriel even have some removal for that in his deck, apart from Liliana of the Whale?
The answer is a resounding no.
Oh.
He has ways to kill artifacts and bring his colors. He's not one. And
No.
other than that, just the 4 fatal push here in his deck.
Oh.
I mean, he can maybe play a Gifted Ether upon and maybe hope that Martin blocks or he attacks. Both of those things are quite unlikely. So no, Endbringer looks like a good way to go over the top of Gabriel's particular list here.
So he has to have some big turns flowing in, good draws, and another land. Blackest comes back. It's Martin's turn again. He's going to draw. He has Endbringer, Fortnite Seer, Khan Liberated in play, and now for example, he can exile a card with his Khan Liberated and just go in there. Or
and Gabriel
for
is basically
9 damage,
nothing.
and Endbringer will untap in his opponent's untap step, and we have Hangerback Walker 4.
Yeah, we've got a Hangerback Walker 4.
So quite some power on board.
It should be for 3 because he still only has those 3 Tron lands. Meaning that he only has access to 7 mana.
For free, yes.
But Hangerback for 3 should still be good
it's
enough.
for free. Sorry, my mistake. Tron just makes 7 mana.
And he's trading off the 3/3 Hangerback Walker here for the 4/3 Undyed Jarvis Messenger, and we see a Thoughtseize here. Gabriel will see that there's another Hangerback Walker, Orlistar's Walking Ballista, and a Handshake.
The game is over. Mount Inferno with Eldrazi Tron won the match.
A quick 2-0, and I think here we see why Gabriel's Mono Black Devotion list has some tools and some good threats. Martin's Disruption and his quick mana is pretty strong. Just playing the Fatal Pushes seems very risky here, and let's see how those players sideboard it. Apparently the Crumble to Dust actually did come in here.
Ooh, nice.
And also a Biforce. I'm not sure if I would have been a big fan of Biforce, thinking that the Rakdos Charm's instant speed is maybe just nicer, but we saw all the land destruction come in at the Biforce. I would have preferred Rakdos Charms to Biforce, but they're pretty similar in effect.
Well, what's the difference?
Biforce is sorcery speed. It has X and 1 red in its mana cost, and it can destroy X artifacts. But because the Eldrazi Tron deck doesn't have that many artifacts, you're more likely to just want to destroy 1. And Rakdos Charm also costs 2 mana, but is instant speed. So basically, because I assume that you only want to destroy 1, it's just more effective to go for the instant speed answer.
Okay, and we see like Chalice of the White have been ported out, and Hangerback Walker have been ported in, and I think as we saw, Surgical Extraction, Better Skull, and maybe some Ratchet Bombs. I'm not really sure what I've seen there. But those Surgicals were definitely huge, and we saw that it's an issue here. Fatal Push is nice in Modern, but against the Eldrazi Tron, you can't just rely on Fatal Push as your only ways of removal, because it's just not going to work. Fatal Push is a lot better in different matchups, but not against Eldrazi Tron. It's basically really not that good, because you don't want to really push a Matter Reshaper, maybe a Fortnite Seer, but that's quite it.
And we'll see you in the next round. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching.